Okay, everyone. So welcome to this interview today. I'm interviewing Rochelle. If you're just jumping in and you are a person who wants to bring your passion and profit from your passion, hashtag passion to profit in the comments below, or passion because okay, awesome. So let me just change the banner here. Doo-doo-doo. We are flying at the seat of our pants. Let's see. How Shell gets paid in full. The book's called How Shell gets 6,700 plus in renewals. And all right. Okay. Well, we'll just continue with this until I have to edit it later. So Rochelle is in the middle of her 5-day training, and we are blessed to get her presence today. She is such an action taker. She helps people who want to get fully booked for their photography business, and especially during a time when so many are closing up their stores. There's not too many people booking a ton of businesses if it's physical because of how things have shifted. But Rochelle is their savior. She is there to help, and because of that, I'm so proud to introduce her today to talk about her story. How did she get into this crazy world? So welcome, Rochelle. Thank you for coming today. Let's take a step back and talk about how did you stumble upon this world of Facebook groups and possibly you're thinking, hey, I can monetize from a Facebook group. What led you down this rabbit hole?
It was, well, I mean, I don't know. I ended up on your email list at some point. And to be honest, you just kept on popping in my inbox. And I'm like, this girl, man, she's on fire. Every 5 minutes, she's doing a launch. And then you just popped into my inbox one day and you were just like, hey, do you have a group? And I'm like, yeah. You're like, want to monetize it? And I'm like, yeah. Literally, that's how I signed up. It was insane, And then I got on a call with Delia, and it's just you were sitting on all these people and you're not monetizing. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not monetizing, So that's what got me started. And I was super excited. And it's been just a really fun journey because I was a wedding planner that became a wedding photographer with my husband, and we developed this amazing wedding photography business. And I had a car accident a few years ago, and we had to figure out a different way and pivot. It's just we've been pivoting nonstop for 10 years, all these things happening, right? Everyone can relate. Every time you think you're going in a direction, the rug is being pulled under you. And anyways, we ended up pivoting to boudoir, and we totally I booked our calendar solid. And my husband was just like, you really need to start teaching this. You need to teach this to other photographers how to book their calendar. And I was brand new to coaching and I didn't know what to do. And I did a beta program, and I was just and my husband's like, Rochelle, you need to increase your following. And I'm just like, well, I don't know how to do that. I just and then I came into your world, and then you were like, Rochelle, you need, to increase your following. You don't increase your following and then sell. You build these 5-day challenges to build your following. And I'm like, oh, okay. I had it backwards, It's you don't build your following and then do it. You use the challenges to build the following. So then I started doing that. So I ended up doing a launch. That was last year, right? April, May or something like that. I brought in 14 new students. It was almost $26,000 launch. And then I had to take some personal time because the studio was really, really busy and supported my students. And then this time around, I did renewals, and I got on the call with you, and I was like, I need to do something because we were now finished with the delivery of my program. And so now I had these students that were kind of what's next, right? So yeah. I just love your team because we were able to strategize. I got on your call. I got on with Angel. We strategized. And then I redid a launch just for my students. And what it was just a simple goal setting and plan and price recommitting to 2022. And in the midst of that, what it did is it made a line in the sand. And it was kind of like, okay, guys, you're done. Do you want to keep going with me? Or do you not want to keep going with me? And that line in the sand and that whole like 5-day training for my current students really made people go, oh my gosh, okay, she's not joking. Like this program's ending and I need to figure out if I'm continuing or not, right? And so I got $6,700 in renewals, well, $6,750. And one of my students, we're swapping $1,000. She's going to do my headshots, and we're exchanging for $1,000 collection. So $6,700 in cash collected, and then $1,000 in like bartering for services. So it worked out really, really well. And now I have like really committed students that have recommitted to phase 2 to get to 6 figures.
That's amazing. So I want to recap. If you guys are just jumping in, hey everyone, I see you coming in now. So smash that heart button and then let me know where you're tuning in from. I want to take a step back and kind of summarize what Richelle said. She got into the program, and the myth was that you have to build up this following and then go and collect money, go ahead and enroll your clients. And with the 5-day training format, where we told her like, here's what to do, what to say, and go ahead and do it. And she's like, okay. And she made over $23,000, right, on your first launch.
It ended up almost at 26 because somebody came in at the last minute. Yeah.
Nice. $26,000. And then after that is the delivery process. And Richelle went and delivered. And then now it's their time to renew. And she did similar kind of like a training just for her clients only. And said, hey, so in a way it's kind of like mimicking the same format in that, do you like this momentum? Do you want to continue on with this momentum? Yes. And a lot of it, the thing I really love what you said is it's inviting them to continue on with you. It's not really a like hard pitch or hard sell. It's kind of like, hey, this is what happened so far. You like this experience? Okay, let's continue. And one of the things that I do hear from like potential clients or people I hop on the phone with, they're like, Kim, so what happens after I deliver? And I said, hey, it's a model that you can have your people renew with you time after time. So it's a really systematic, consistent way to create income while continue helping. And another thing that you said is the barter piece, because now wherever I go, I have this powerful weapon, this powerful value that I can barter. What is it? Like on a small example, on a small scale, I'm bartering, people to help me along my journey of coaching. On a random example, I've seen like one of my mentors, he bartered plane ride lessons. So you can, I feel like this journey gives us so much ability to bring value that we can not only trade within our profession, but like really outside to see what else is there. And I really like that you're getting like a taste of that.
And I mean, everybody needs headshots. And so I'm attracting all these photographers into my world. And so I'm like, we'll exchange some coaching for headshots, which is super valuable. But it was a really good method. The good thing is about doing that 5-day training was it was a goal setting training. So even the students that decided that they weren't going to move on, at least they had a roadmap. But those that were like, well, I got the roadmap, but I need help implementing it. Then they came in and they renewed. And then at the same time that I delivered that 5-day training, it gave me like a practice run, kind of like a trial run. And then I relaunched it this week to my free group. So the exact same training. So then at that point, I got all the kinks out in my like people that knew me already. And so then I relaunched it to these people here. And so we went through goal setting, planning, and pricing. We went through all their collections and packages. I did the VIP sessions, and like Kim, I just I just followed your deal, and there was nowhere else in my schedule to do these VIP sessions. And as you can see, my voice is completely shot, right? So I ended up doing it at 9 p.m. yesterday and 9 p.m. the night before. And if anyone knows me, they're like, what? Rochelle worked at 9 p.m. Like, was she falling asleep? Like, because, I'm usually like done, like my energy is gone by 9 p.m. But I just followed your format, right? And did the VIP sessions, and people loved it, and I didn't do any training, like you said. I just like answered their questions and got them really warm. And then yesterday, somebody did a pay in full on the phone. We did a call. So what my team is doing, Kim, I'm doing the same thing. Like I hopped on Angel's calls, and that's what I love. Like anytime you need support, you just hop on the calls and you're like, this is where I'm at. I got to get on Angel's call. I got to get on so-and-so's call, right? Like Matita or Mizba or any of your salespeople are incredible. Like your salespeople are incredible. Like it's nowhere near like the time zone that I can actually be on the call, but I'm like figuring it out. I'm doing dishes, listening to these sales calls. Like, yeah, they're really good. But my team just followed Angel's format, and they were doing the reach outs, and they worked out amazingly. And we booked 6 calls during the launch. And so I'm in the midst of like doing all the calls right now. And then somebody booked in full yesterday. So that was $24.97. And she has a friend that actually is doing the training too. So I think she'll come in too. And I've got some really hot prospects. So all my calls are like from yesterday all the way till next week. So I really hope to close strong and hopefully bring in $10,000 or more. And it was like a very easy launch this time because I was like, okay, I'd already done it and stuff, but just following your format. And one thing I wanted to tell, like if anyone's in the midst of a launch, because I know people ask this question all the time on the calls, is to not overthink it. Just like, because, I know that last week people were like, well, what time do I need to do the call? And what time should I do the VIP? And what time and like, just do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like 9 p.m. Like, I'm like, is anyone going to show up? Like 9 p.m. But they did. And then last night, 9 p.m., they did it also. And today, because my training content is done, today, instead of doing like content, all I did was a VIP. So I'm just going to do a VIP Q&A today instead of training as well. So it's like, don't overthink it. Just follow the system that you guys have laid out and just do it. And yeah, you're going to be tired. Yeah, you might lose your voice. Like I keep losing my voice. But it's going to be worth it in the end, and people are going to be blessed by their services. You know what I mean? Because people need to hear what they have to offer, right?
Yeah. And maybe we should add a voice coach, because I actually had a training with a voice coach for one session. I lost my voice and I was supposed to speak the next day on stage. And I was like, this is not great, and then the voice coach, just like a 5-minute session, taught me how to like save my voice, and then it came back like within a day. So it was very effective. Yeah, a voice coach.
I would really, really like to hear, because when I get under a lot of stress, I lose my voice. And then not last night, but the night before, I completely lost my voice. Like it sounded like I was like a teenage boy going through like the like change of the voice, and everyone was looking at me like this. They were like, oh my gosh, So that would be amazing, because I think it's the stress of doing a launch that kind of, and then you get tired, right? Because you just you're pushing through. You're like giving it your all, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what I found, Rochelle, and I'm sharing this with you because we're just, my interviews are super chill like this. You guys, what I've noticed is that you can lose your voice if you talk a certain way with your voice. And and I've gone, and this is really unheard of, because our calendar was booked out for 60 plus calls. And so it was insane in the membrane. So every single day I was speaking nonstop from morning all the way to almost midnight every day for the past 2 weeks. It's the most intense 2 weeks of my entire life, I'm gonna say, but I didn't lose my voice. So it is possible to show up and to have energy and have it be consistent for like a nonstop period of time, weeks. And before, I didn't realize that my body could do that. And it is very true that we are training you like this athlete running a marathon, and athlete not only in the mental aspect of it, but also the physical, the possibly I'm gonna introduce vocal.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
And you can just continue, because the truth is sometimes the business just comes like this, like when it rains it pours, right? And then we're in the middle of hiring right now another closer. Guys, if you guys are a closer out there and you want to close, we are hiring right now. But it really enables me to see a different, like what once I thought was impossible to now be possible. And just sharing that with you, Rochelle, because I'm like, oh wow, this is surprising. Like,
I would love
how
to
can I
go
do
on
this?
that. Yeah, I would love to go on that, because this is what happens. I get tired, I lose my voice. Yeah, that was not fun to get on a VIP and you're like, I'm here to answer your questions, and nothing comes out. I'm just like, you guys talk, I'll listen. Yeah, I just pushed through. I was just like, God bless them. I'm like eating halls and drinking water.
Oh, I'm going to connect you with the voice coach that I spoke to.
Please.
Yeah, most definitely. I think it'll help you so much with your voice, and then you'll bring it back in like one day.
I would absolutely love to, because I've been to a specialist and everything, and they're like, nothing's wrong with you.
I don't think anything's wrong with you. Yeah, it's just pushing. It's the way that you talk with your vocals too. That's why Ariana Grande, when you listen to her talk, she's like, hello. She's doing that for a reason, like to save her voice, not to sound all fake and weird.
I don't know. We are boudoir photographers. That might be a little creepy. It's like, hello, how's it going?
Oh, shit, you're right. Oh, Rachel says, what is the hack? All right, you guys, you want me to share something that they did, that my vocal coach shared with me? Okay, this might sound super weird, but when you go, you're like going up and then down, somewhere along that, you feel yourself straining a little bit more on your vocal range. That's the range that you want to stay away from. The range that makes you feel effortless when you're like talking. So I'll give you an example. Hello, like this is my effortless voice. It sounds really odd and weird, but this is what I was talking. Like I was at a conference and I lost my voice, and she's like, you got to speak in this different voice for the next day to bring your normal voice back. So you know how normally when you talk and you project like this, there's strain like right here. So when you talk like this, it might make you sound all weird, but there's no vocal strain at all. It's just like, hello, I'm going to grab a cup of tea over here. And so I was talking like this the whole day before my live. And I had an inner circle client who came, and he's like, talk like that, Kim, it's totally fine. And I'm like, yeah. So anyways, this is how I talked the whole day. And I drank tea with like honey tea, and then bringing it back to this voice. This voice is the voice that has more strain to it, as you can tell. And then this voice is kind of effortless. So just talk like this for like the whole day.
It's coming from the mouth instead of the throat or something.
It's very airy. It's very airy. It's like there's no strain. So like and then the way to find that is to go like you're like humming like And then when she said that, she was like, go like this, and then start talking. So I would be like, hello, like that, like,
Yeah.
hi. And then you can kind of tell where it becomes
Yeah.
straining versus not straining. And then this is not like professional advice here. Hashtag not professional advice, kind of like hashtag not financial, right? This is not professional, but it's like, hi, and then you go into talking. But anyways, that's what she taught me very quickly. There's probably more nuances than that, but
yeah. I'm French, so you're right. Like I'm French, and we talk through the throat. Like when you speak French, like when you speak with your R's, it doesn't come from here; it comes from here.
Yeah.
So I think it might be a learned habit of speaking in the throat because I'm French, right? So
yeah, absolutely. So maybe that's
really good point.
Yeah. And so try it out.
I will try it out. People are gonna be like, "Who are you, Rochelle?" Yeah,
it's fine.
I'll try it.
Hey, you know what? That one tip could, if you lose your voice completely, right? That means that you can't really go live. So that one tip could be like $10,000 tip right there.
That's right. I'm with you. All right, I'm gonna try it, Kim. I'm gonna try to speak through my mouth instead of my voice. And I'll let you know how I do at the end of today.
Yeah, I'll connect you with the voice coach, and there's probably some YouTube videos too that you never Googled before in your life, and then now you're like, now you're gonna look for it.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh man,
well,
it's a real thing.
I'll let you know how I closed out the launch, and if anyone's doing in a launch, like I would just suggest they lean on the team. You know, be at every call you can. Use every single resource. You guys are incredible. Like your team is incredible. Like every time I think that I've mastered something, I get on the call and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have so much further to go. You know what I mean? And it's just been incredible. Yeah, your team they care a lot. They're like always like, what can we do? What do you need? What do you need? What kind of support do you need? And it's like we have to be in charge of reaching out, right? We have to be in charge of being like, hey, like this is what I need, and be vocal about it, and just like take charge, right, of like what you want to do. Everyone's like, that's amazing.
Yeah, Miss Buzz, like we're so proud of you. Miss Buzz, one of our coaches, she's amazing. I feel like you are the client you attract, but you're also, probably the team you attract. And to me, let's dive into the support. Why do you say it's amazing? Because that sounds cool, but kind of a little bit vague. So what is it about the support that you really enjoyed, and how did you reach out to them, and in what way did they respond that led to your results?
So for example, like one of the sales coaches was sick, and I don't know if they lost their voice or had COVID or whatever. And Delia just like she was like, I'm here to support you guys. She just like showed up, and she was just like, hey, like, do you guys want to call? Tell me in the comments. I will hop on right now and help you guys. And she was able to like basically like look at what we were doing with our sales scripts, and I was able to like retweak my entire sales script and use those methods to basically be able to start closing. Because it was like there was a part in my script that I wasn't pivoting correctly. And so she was able to like do that, right? And she was able to do, okay, well, explain to me this, explain to me that. So instead of just being like, talking to us and just being like, this is the way you're supposed to do it, it was like, okay, tell me how you do it. And then she was just like tweaking all the way. And now I'm closing, right? So, which is amazing. And I'm like, I'm a salesperson. Like, it's not that I didn't know sales. It's just that your team is super talented. And like, even with these other guys, Larry and Grant, like their sales ability just blows my mind, right? Like between all three of those guys, like I've been able to like finally, like, it's like finally know the trick to closing. And then the other thing is just, just having the support you need. Like one of the biggest reasons that I came to your program is because I was like, I'm just so sick of like trying to figure it out. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and duct taping all this stuff together. And because you guys are a tech team, when I'm stuck, then you're like, oh, book a call with Michael Mraz, even Michael Rosenberg, like he's been able to meet me where I'm at. Last summer I was going through some stuff and I start bawling on the coaching call, and he was just like there for me. Like he wasn't like, oh my gosh, he literally sat there and he let me cry, and he just like, right. And he just like was there, and he was able to dig through it and come to the other side so that like I could be successful and not quit on my own dreams. Like it's a team that cares, and high touch. Like I've paid like $10,000 for masterminds, US, which to us is like $15,000-$16,000 over here, right? In Canada, where you can't even talk to anybody. You don't have the Slack. You don't have like all these things. You guys are so connected. So when I say the team is amazing, like I genuinely mean it's high touch. You can get an answer immediately. If somebody's sleeping because they're in the Philippines, right? If they're sleeping because they're in the Philippines, somebody else is going to answer and make sure, this is worth it. This is worth every penny, right? Because you have the tech, you've got the sales, you've got the 5-day, you know how to do your reach outs, how, and they'll all hop on the call. The other thing, it was like, hey, record your sales calls and we'll like go through them and literally sit there and listen to every sales call and tweak. Show me your DMs. Let me see where you and your team are going wrong. Hey, let me audit your Facebook group. I don't know what you're priced at now, Kim, but it is worth it.
We don't reveal the price until we're on the phone call, but people are jumping in.
Whatever
they're
like,
heck yeah.
Worth it. Yeah, because it's the support. Like you can pay 3, 4, 5, 10,000, 15,000. Some people I've heard paying 25,000 who don't have the support because the groups are too big, and you end up just getting lost. You're just lost. You're just like, you can't even get like a one-on-one to answer your questions like on a Zoom call, and you're waiting for your turn and you can't.
Yeah.
So that's how you guys are incredible. Like, I don't know. It's just your coaching team and the way that you've like bundled everybody together to be like a coach support for each person works really, really well, because you can move forward, which is the only thing. Information is useless if you can't have the application to it, right? Because all the info is in the portal. Right?
Oh yeah, Laura just signed up yesterday. She's like, I'm excited. Started diving in last night and already impressed. Yay, Laura!
Yes, welcome, Laura. Yeah, make sure you reach out to the team. Like, don't be shy, and reach out and be like, hey, this is where I'm stuck. Because the information is all there. All the scripts are there. The emails are there. Everything that you need is there. And then what's the most valuable about Kim Dang's team is the team. So use the team to get to where you want to be, right?
Oh my gosh, Richelle, so many compliments. I feel so loved. Yeah. But what you said really resonated with me. You said that, I just want solutions. I just want to figure this out. I don't want to go and watch a bunch of videos and on my own. I want something that actually works. And what we found out is that a lot of coaching is reactive coaching. It is, you're crowded in this huge group and you don't get your questions answered. And a lot of times you're submitting something, but it's really not. It's like the thing that wasn't working before, you submit it and then you wait for a week to get feedback. And for us, it's like, all right, the reach out, what do you say in the reach out? The closing, how are you closing? Because that's truly what matters. That is the biggest thing for you to actually convert. And what are the things that lead to conversion? The way that you say it, your script, the way that you talk to respond over the phone. And it's really hard to discount that and just say, here's a structure for how to run a 5-day challenge. Because if we didn't take care of that as well, it was like you did this whole thing for like, and then you stumble the rest of the way and you don't really close. So what's the point of the structure? Because I do see programs out there that's like, I'll tell you how to run it and I'll show you how we do, and this is the structure. And I'm like, that's just a small piece of the pie, that is just a piece of that pie. And what you said today about how we listened to your sales calls, we gave you, we've tried to figure out really what you're doing that is not converting. That's really, really important. And my team is incredible.
Yeah.
I did a team meeting yesterday, and I'm like, man, you guys are amazing.
Yeah, they are amazing. And when I first came in, I'm like, a year, like that seems so long. But what I discovered is that it's like you need the year, because by the time you get all your systems set up and then you run through, a lot of the questions come by doing. Because you can be on calls and listen to calls, but until you're in the trenches and you're physically in a launch and you're stumbling through, and then you're like, hey, Angel, how do I do this? Hey, like, Michael, how do I do this? And you're like asking everyone the questions. And by the time you get all the kinks out, you're relaunching again. And then you can only master it by doing it and reaching out to the team. So it's like, I'm like, oh my gosh, thank God it was a year. Because if not, like, how do you refine? You know what I mean? It's like, I'm just getting started. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just getting started. And by refining, then it's going to get better and it'll turn into like, bigger launches. Right. So.
Yeah. And the benefit of a year, I just interviewed Michael the other day, Michael Guzman. He had to take the bulk of that year off because of tragedies. He lost his dad. He lost his sister. It was like losing, people that's been with him all his life. Yeah. And it was really, really difficult for him to even do anything, period. And he just came out of a really successful launch and he's super excited. There's life, coming back. There's excitement, not only excitement, his energy is like beyond mine. So it was like, well, rarely do I meet another person where their energy is so high that I'm just like, oh my gosh.
You're like, is that what I sound like?
Usually for me, I meet people and they say that my energy is higher or more elevated than theirs. They're like here and I'm like, we're here. But Michael was like right there and I'm like, oh my gosh. But so yeah, he's like, I'm so excited and I'm so glad that it's a year because you do fall off sometimes. You want to take a break other times. And if it was something that was only 3 months or 4 months, we would like, okay, bye, Michael. Like you're left to hang to dry over there.
Yeah.
And this wasn't that, because not only that there are seasons in your life that you do have to, calm down or pause. You don't have to, but it just happens. There's also this consistency that comes with a year-long program, where you keep on seeing people win. You keep on, it's hard to give up hope when you're in that community where people are consistently getting results. So you're like, okay, I'm not back on the horse right now, but I will be. It's coming. Or it's, I'm delivering right now and I'm going to be launching later, but I do see that there are wins. So I want to talk about how, you said the support is amazing and that helped you be able to close better. And that's really important. What about the community, the other people? Like, how did you, and I think maybe you're in your world too, like super focused, but what was your experience being in the community itself?
The community, like the Facebook group and stuff?
The Facebook group, the Slack channel, the other people, the other clients.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For me, because my schedule is so full, like we run like a very busy boudoir studio. And then of course, having to build this and coach students and stuff, I'm not super active in the Facebook group, but I do see the wins and the congratulations. And, you know, so I'll participate in that and congratulating and welcoming people. But I basically, like, I'm very much like, and I know that there's a lot of people like this too, where it's like I'm a point A to point B person, and I need to go from point A to point B extremely quickly. So it's like, for me, I love the Slack because I can be like, hey guys, I have to do this week. And then it's like, okay, this is what you need to do. Here's the resource. Look in this part of the course or whatever. And it's very like direct. And I don't need to go digging around. So for me, because my time is so limited, right? Because we're running the studio, I only have like a couple of hours in the morning. It's just not a lot of time, you know what I mean, to do everything. So I'm not the type of person to hang out a lot in the Facebook group, and I'll participate to like congratulate people. But to me, my life lives in the Slack and getting that support. And of course, the community of being on the calls. Like I said, like those calls, like most of the time, they're like in times that I can't even participate, right? But I'll catch the end of a call or whatever. The angel calls I usually can make because like it works with my schedule. But the other calls, like I'll make time. Like I'll be like washing dishes and listening and soaking up every little tiny piece that I can to refine. So the community is amazing. Like I can't believe the support, like from the Facebook ads to your systems to your sales to what to say. And what I appreciate about your team is that it's consistent. Like it would be extremely overwhelming to me if every time I hopped on to the community calls and the support calls during the week, if you guys were changing things every 5 minutes, I'd be so overwhelmed. But every time I hop on the call, I love the fact that Angel's like, it's the same script, guys. It's the same thing. It's the same wording. It's the same. Yeah. And she brings us back to the same document. And you're like, oh, and it's the consistency you guys have of just doing it time in and time out. Because for me, I would be too overwhelmed. It would make me want to quit if it felt like all over the place. And it's like, we have a new strategy. We have a new strategy over here. We have a new strategy. Like, you know what I mean? And I think entrepreneurs struggle with that enough where they think, oh, we have to go do this now. We got to do the YouTube thing. We got to do this thing and da, 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 da. It's just consistency. Doing the same thing over and over because it works, and your team is showing us that it works. You guys are doing it, and then we have the confidence to go, well, they're doing it and look at what they're doing, and then we do it too, and it works for us. So that's what I appreciate in the community, is the consistency of the system that you created.
Yeah, I think I am the one that's like, I want to go do this, and then my team's like, rein it back, Kim. So we do experiment. It's just we experiment to see if it's working or not, and then we bring it and say, hey, add this piece because this is effective. And I really love that, because as I test things out to see if it works, I can like share with you guys. And being consistent, every single month it's like, hey, let's do this, let's launch, let's do this. Because in the words of like Russell Brunson, I follow him, he said that you got to launch every single week for a year before you can even automate anything. And I'm like, okay. I'm just like, all right, I'll do that. And so it has to me, it gives me a lot of reassurance, and probably my team, that I'm so consistent, showing up every single month and being able to still have a life. I still travel quite a bit, and be able to still show up and say, hey, let's continue doing this because it works. Another question I want to ask you, Rochelle, is for your $26,000 launch, what is the actual consumption? Because I love how you said I'm an A to B person. That's how I am too. I don't hang around in communities. I just need to figure out like, hey, what is that next thing I got to do? So like, how many, what do you watch? How many hours of work do you feel like you personally have to like dedicate to get to that first launch that you did to do $26,000? One of the reason why I asked that is because you run a boudoir. Oh my gosh, I'm horrible at that word. And you're a busy entrepreneur already. And to take on this other thing, which is this Facebook group conversion world, it's just a whole other thing, right? So what made you not be afraid to step into that? And in what way did you consume the material that made you go, even if I'm a busy CEO, I can do this because I know it's gonna, give me these benefits. So let me know what your answer is for that question. I know it was a really long-winded one.
Yeah, let me know if I get off track. But yeah, like the main thing for me is that when I like talk to you guys, like I am very like methodical in the way that I schedule my life. And so when I came in, I was just like, okay, can I do this? Yes. Okay, when can I do this? Because that's very important. It's like my schedule is extremely full and I know exactly what's happening in my life. So I was like, okay, the only time I can do this is the 2 hours in the morning because I wake up at 5, right? And so before anybody wakes up and starts asking me for stuff, I just like plow through whatever task that will move me forward, move the needle forward. So if that is like, hey, I got to create a landing page, I got to do this, like, yeah, eventually I can like give that away and they could just duplicate what I already created. But in the beginning, you were like, okay, Rochelle, these are the pieces that you need. And it's like, what I appreciated, Kim, is that I didn't have like 40 hours to go through the course. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so I was like, got on my coaching call with Michael Rosenberg, and he was just like, here's the links. Go here, here, and here, go build it. And so I was just like, just start through the checklist, right? And it's like, okay, need to build a landing page. Okay, great. And then where are the elements? Follow the system. And I would just like follow and I would duplicate and then I would add my pictures and do all that stuff. So just very like task oriented. So the first thing is carving out the time to make sure that you can actually do the tasks, right? Like it's very important. I am not a fluff person. I always say fruit, flowers, fluff. Like I can't have all that. Like I need to know exactly what I need to do because my time is so limited. And so what I did is I took, I don't know, like I think like a month. And in the 2 hours in the beginning of my day, I would take 2 hours every single day and a few hours on the weekend when I wasn't with clients. And I plowed through the landing pages, the emails, the posts. And then I had to create my content, Kim. Like you jumped on a call with me and we had that one call and you were like, this is the format. And you were like, this is what you need to do, right? And you were like, you got the format? I'm like, yeah. And you're like, go. And I'm like, okay. So I had to create the content from scratch, right? But at least I was able to follow your format. But it took time, because it's like you create it, you tweak it. You're like, oh, I want to change this. But once it was like, okay, then you were like, go do the slides. And I would get on my coaching call. And Michael's like, this is where the slides are. So it was very beneficial because I didn't have hours and hours to spend in the Kajabi portal. And so he would say, these are the slides, go do it. And then I was like, okay. And then I would look at your slides and I would start building my training. And that's all I did in those 2 hours in the morning. And then pretty much like, I don't know, was it like 30 to 45 days in, like I was having to launch and I was running out of time. So one of the biggest things that helped me is I hired my assistant, Bria. Who else was helping us, Bria? Was it you and me only during that launch? So, and I paid Bria, I think it cost me about $2,500, but it was worth every penny because she did all my reach outs. She helped me with my posts. She helped me with all of that stuff. And I didn't have a Facebook ads. Like I didn't do any Facebook ads. It was all organic. So out of that $26,000, my raw cost was like the cost to Bria and my time. Right. And of course, like you got to pay for the program, but that's setting you up for like multiple six figures. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't really, you know what I'm saying? Like that's going to set you up for later. But I would say about 45 days and, Bria helping me with that. And of course, like I'm going to relaunch in March. And now I just use the system I've already created and we could just use it. And we can be like, okay, let's look at the emails. Sorry, my thing's going off here. I don't know what's happening. But just reuse the system that we now have, right? So it's going to take less time. And so now now I understand. I'm like, okay, now I get why she's launching so much, because then she's reusing what she has, replacing the dates and just doing it. And then you have a team to do the reach outs, right? And all of a sudden, that's why it's a year. Because it's like now you're refining, you're ironing it out. You know, you're reaching out to the team. Oh, I can't close. Okay, this is what you're doing wrong. I don't know what's happening, Kim. Like, I don't know.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. I can still see you.
But that's pretty much it, Kim. Like, no, I didn't spend hours in the portal. Yes, I reached out to the team and booked my coaching calls so that I could be like, Michael, what do? I need to go fast. I utilized the time that I had by booking specific time that I could run through it. And I just plowed through it. Like, it's not easy the first round, because you need to put your nose down and you need to say, yeah, I'm tired. Yeah, it's painful, but it will be worth it. And I'm building something that I will use time and time again, because now I have a system. And now I understand the first month and a half when you guys are trying to get us to that launch fast, because you're like, come on, let's go. We need your turnaround. Like, we need you to turn around and make your money back so you don't get in your own head. Right? And be like, you know, it's just like, right? And it's just like, and you do it, and then you're like, oh my gosh, it worked. My Facebook group grew, my email list grew, I got clients, I got money, I, you know, made a profit. Like, it actually worked. Kim knows what she's doing. Like, you know, yeah. And that's it, you know? So I think I answered the question, right?
Yeah. Like, the fear was, hey, I'm on my own. I have to show up to these group coaching calls, and then I only like get 5-10 minutes to ask. And then I'm back on my own again with like the Kajabi, with like a membership portal to sit there and try to think it out. When the reality for our program is that we sat down with you, Rochelle, and we figure out exactly what you should be saying for when you launch. And you filled in the blanks. You put in a lot of work to, you know, we can't teach your thing. we give you that framework. And then you're like, okay, let's go. And then here are the slides. Take our slides and you go and do your own while you're looking at ours, and then go. Because for me, one of the things, like, it's such a strong thing for me to witness that a successful CEO or someone that knows how to help people, like for you, you're not new to sales. You've sold before. You're not new to any of that. And you come into this environment, you're like, holy shit, like, this is something that I can do systematically, continuously. And, you know, there is work involved. But then you don't have to rely on paid ads. You don't have to, as long as they are living, breathing human beings on Facebook that can benefit from your help, you have something that will be able to feed you continuously for, I don't know, as long as Facebook exists, I guess. And I want to ask you, like, how does that feel for you? I know you've been to a couple of launches now. How does it feel to see that, like, even more clearly now than ever? Like, how does that change the way that you see how your business is going, like income, anything like that? Like, talk to me about the personal changes or the effects that's beyond money, hopefully, or with money, whichever.
The biggest change for me is because I'm a very, like, when people complain about circumstances, I'm like, you have more control than you think, right? You have more control than you think. And so when you can take something like this and make it happen, and it's the thing is that the thing I appreciated about you is, like, you literally helped me build the skeleton of my slides. I think you were delayed from a flight from Mexico or something like that.
I was in Tulum.
And you're like, okay, the internet's like, you know, like having a hard time. Like, let's hurry up. And like, we're like doing these slides, but it's like, you didn't do it for me. You were like, this is the format. Now it's up to you. You know, so for your newer people, it's like, yes, the format is there and the help is there, but now it's up to us, right? It's up to us to take it and to go, I have control over my circumstances. Yes, the government keeps shutting us down every 5 minutes and doing all that in Canada anyways. It's like a bloody mess. But, oh, wow, we have control of our own future, that we could take something and we actually can build something. And it's like such a small, like, it's a new beginning. You know what I mean? Because it's like $26,000 to some people. It's like, wow, that's a lot. To me, it's like, it's just the beginning. It's just a small thing to show me that it's possible. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just like, wow, it's working. Now you're like, wow, it's working. It gives me a glimpse of what's possible, of what's coming, but not just the money, but it's like how many people you can help with your services. Because if I can get help by you, that means people are waiting for me too. And all the people that are on the call, they're waiting for our services as well, right? So it's about that. It's about like, hey, let's stop thinking about ourselves, right? And like how scared we are to sell, quote unquote, and do all these things and serve people. You know, yeah, it's going to cost money because, hey, we can't work for free. Like when we go to the grocery store, they ask me for money too, right? But that's the biggest thing I would say on the personal level, Kim, is that number one, I didn't feel alone. So I knew that I had you guys to back me up. But number two, that it was up to me. It's like, you have the skeleton. Now it's up to you, Rochelle. What are you going to do? You have the secret now. There's no more excuse. You have the secret. So what are you going to do with it? You can't blame COVID. You can't blame the economy. You can't blame nothing. What are you going to do? And so like, I was able to take that and plow and just be like, I'm going to do it. And then it works. So now you're like, okay, you do it again, you do it again. And the more times you do it, yeah, you're going to make money, but you're going to help people that need help, just like you're helping us.
Yeah.
That's the personal. Yeah. That's the personal side.
Yeah. I love that. Like it's, you know, on the one hand, you're actually helping, you know, people do stuff like taking pictures of their life and, you know, giving them memories. And to me, stepping into this coaching environment where you're helping others help others, it creates this reality where you can be surrounded by people who are like, thank you for helping me, really be able to step into this so that I see that life for myself that is now open and kind of endless, because this is just the beginning. That to me is like so fulfilling. It's like the most fulfilling part of this.
And honestly, I don't even think sometimes we realize. And I remember you reacted when you were in Mexico. You're on your laptop, and I don't even know if you remember it. It was impactful to me, but I don't know if you remember. But I was just like, I was in the middle of doing it, and it was just like I was overcome with a sense of gratitude that you were like actually like helping me. And I was just like, Kim, I was like, thank you. And you were like a little bit shocked. You were like, you're welcome. You were just like, okay, you're welcome, you know. But it's just like, yeah, is you realize like it's like during you're just go in your world. And then it's like stopping and thinking like, wow, like I impacted that person, you know, and because you impacted me, now I can impact others because, you know, I'm helping people with their businesses now. And people are like, Rochelle, I doubled, tripled sales this year. I'm so excited. I built my studio. But it's like, you helped me and I helped them, and they're helping families have pictures. So it's like a trickle effect, right?
Yeah. It's
It's
like
very humbling, right? Like, it's like, whoa.
I know. Sometimes it shocks me. That's probably why I'm just like, you're welcome.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh man, it reminds me of that Moana song, Moana song. Thank you, you're welcome, by The Rock. Oh, okay. Well, anyways, it's a cartoon. So cool. And thank you so much for your time, Rochelle. You're awesome. You're so articulate and you're so just well thought out. You're so good at this that, you know, when I first met you, I didn't, to me, the transformation and seeing every single time, because it's not the first time I interview you. I interview my clients repeatedly as they grow, and they just become way more eloquent, really just just so grateful and then so powerful. So every single time I am shocked. I'm just like, holy shit, like what
Like, who is
this
this person?
transformation, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Did you see that
Like,
in yourself? Do you see,
not
do you
really.
realize that?
No, not
Oh my
really.
God.
I don't know. I guess the only thing that I did realize in myself is like, I don't know, like something like there's a switch that turned on where I just was like, no BS, I'm doing this. Like that I did notice. Like I'm just like, nope, I don't care. I don't care. Nope, blinders on. Whew, I'm doing this. Because once you gave me all the tools, I had no more excuses. All the excuses were gone. It's like, okay, everyone's watching. Are you gonna do it? Yeah.
It's a pull factor, you know. It's not like, oh, I have to do this. It's more like everyone's there and I gotta do this or I don't. And as a role of a coach, to me, I would rather have it set up where you have all these people expecting you to show up than you on your own doing something. Like because it's such a strong pull. It's not like, oh, you know, I have to show up today to do a random Facebook Live. It's like, no, all these people are expecting me. I gotta deliver.
Okay, it's like, this better go well.
One of my coaches told that to me. He's like, he helped me create the poop ad, and he's like, Kim, you know, you can convert really well, just like me holding your phone and recording what you have to say. But he also said, and I think it would be a much more fun experience for you that you see all these people show up on this day waiting around for you to act and perform.
So
Like
true.
he's like,
Yes, because they're all, the whole crew's there. It's like, oh dang, I better look good.
like there's no way to back down.
Well, it's true that you said that, Kim, because it's kind of like a sense of accountability. Like in September, we had in our boudoir studio, because we're like, you know, obviously shooting people multiple times a week. So we had an announcement in Canada that totally made everyone freak out. And we had 13 people reschedule their shoots. And I was like, that's a lot of money for us. And I was like, what are we going to do? So then I was like, let's do like mini sessions. And so we did a mini sessions, and same concept as you teaching us. It's just like a launch, really. And so I ended up doing that. And everybody was watching me. My students were watching me. And I'm like, guys, we're going to do mini sessions. Never done them. We've had the studio for 4 years, and we're going to do mini sessions. And everybody was watching us, being like, oh, I wonder if it's going to work. They've never done that. And it was a lot of pressure. But we did over $34,000 in sales with that mini launch. Yeah. And you're right. When people are watching you, and I was like, I'm going to create the roadmap for my students. I'm going to do all this. So now they're like, do you have the roadmap for that 34,000 mini launch thingamajiggy? And I'm like, yep, it's in the Kajabi portal. Like, it's under here. This is the roadmap and blah, blah, blah. But you're right. When people are watching, like, you will be on it, right? You're like, my students are watching. I can't fail. You know, I got to show them, like, this is easy, guys. Look, we did it.
And here's also a reason why you guys, if you come into Ignite, and by the way, the cart already closed. So if you book your session, you book your strategy call, then we hold your spot for you. We've already had over 13 people enroll, and there's only 2 more spots left. So make sure that you do book your call. The reason why you should come in is because there are people that would resonate with me. If you win, I interview you, and you might have someone like this. Val is a photographer too.
Helping moms learn how to use their cameras. I'd love to hear more about what you do. Oh, yeah, connect with me, Val. That's amazing. That's so fun.
Yeah. So Richelle helps photographers. If you're a photographer, reach out to her. She will help you get booked. And so, like, I love this world. I really like how such an action taker you are. I really like how you said also that, you know, 26K might seem like a lot to a lot of people, and that's the truth. For you, it's like, this is just the beginning, and I want people to feel that way as part of their world. as if 26K is just the beginning. That $30,000 month that they aspire to have one day, that it can come sooner and faster than you could possibly imagine. And for you, you're like, I only have 2 hours a day because I'm so busy, and it took me a month, to go and do it because I have that deadline, Kim. But that's a good trade, right? Like, a month of your time to just open up this entire world where you're doing like 26K. It's worth it to some extent, right?
And not only that, Kim, the thing is that people that are on the fence and they're like, ooh, can I do this? Blah, blah, blah. Can I find the funds to make this happen or whatever it is? The thing is you are who you hang around with. So if you are the type of person that's like 26,000 is a lot, you want to be around Kim's team to show you that it's just the beginning. Do you know what I'm saying? Like where you're around this community of people that are all going somewhere because you become who you hang around with, right?
Yeah.
You really, really do. And it expands your mind to thinking bigger. And with the goals that you have, you might not know the how, but as long as they're there, and then the how is in the system here, and then you're like, okay, I know how. And then everything's removed. All the excuses are removed. You have your dream, you have the system. Now you just need to implement it to make it a reality, right?
I love that.
Yeah. So if anyone's on the fence, like that's what they have to understand you are who you hang around with. So if like the most people they're hanging around with, like they're like, well, I just want to make $2,000 a month, or that's like the biggest goal that they have, right? Like you need to expand your mind and hang out with people that are doing way more so that it becomes like second nature to you. And all of a sudden your belief rises in what is possible, right? And you just like do that every single day until your dreams become a reality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it's extremely important environment. That's why it's like being a year dipped into this environment can be life-changing, personally and financially. Yeah.
I love it, Rochelle. Well, one last quick question, and then we'll talk about how where can they go to find you, because I highly respect your time, and we're about the top of the hour, and these interviews go by really fast, and I'm just like, oh, it's been a whole hour already. So one thing that you do is you teach photographers have a photography business. Have you seen this model work for people who don't teach how to make money, how to do business? Do you see this system and what we teach also work for people who teach health or fitness or anything else as well? Because that's one of the biggest questions I get asked too. Like, hey, it's easy for you, Rochelle, to do it and Kim to do it. You're teaching how to, earn an income. But what about the people who aren't teaching people how to do income, like changing their life by losing weight or health or relationships? Have you seen this model works for that type of environment, or you're just so in your world and that's fine too? But I'm curious.
Like, I think that monetizing your Facebook group is going to work for anybody. Like you have to have a goal, a specific goal, and you have to believe it. And then with your system, the whole goal here is to monetize their Facebook group, right? So it's like they're going to come in. It doesn't matter if it's not just like, hey, I'm going to teach you how to make money. It doesn't matter. You're teaching them to go from A to B. They have a problem. They want a result. The in between, the bridge between the two is these guys, their program, right? Like whatever they have to offer. So if they want to go from A to B and stop feeling this and stop worrying about their weight and stop, having a bad marriage, or stop, whatever it is that they want to stop having, you're going to teach them what to say to, get rid of those pain points to come over to point B. So it doesn't matter if it's book your clients or anything like that. It's just as long as the students listening that are like, is this going to work for me? I don't have a thing that's helping people make money. Okay, let me ask you this. Do you know how to go from point A to point B? Because I was a weight loss coach. I don't know if you know this, Kim, but I was a weight loss coach for 15 years, and I helped hundreds of people lose weight. As long as you know what you do from point A to point B, and you can get a person a result, and what I call that is like you have a solid like system, like you have a service or a product that can get people results. Yes, that's all you need. The rest Kim will teach you. You just need a solid product or service that brings someone from their misery to where they want to be. That's it. Doesn't have to be money related.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I love that, Rochelle. All right, so where can they? I love that. Whenever you talk, I'm just like I'm in a motivational speech right now. Like I'm just like I'm sold, like all the time. I don't know. I'm just like, oh my gosh, feeling your magic over here.
So funny. How do we turn like a 20-minute interview into 69 minutes? Right? Like,
I have no idea. So Rochelle, where can they find you? Obviously, whoever's listening, like Val is going like, oh my gosh, I need to know who this person is. Let me figure out how to find you, connect with you. So where can they go to connect with you online?
Everything is the Photography Business Coach. So Instagram, the Photography Business Coach. thephotographybusinesscoach.com, like Facebook, the Photography Business Coach. So it's just everything, the Photography Business Coach.
All right, the Photography Business Coach. Rochelle makes it easy to find her. And if you guys are in that world, you are a photographer too, and you want to get a fully booked out calendar, Rochelle is who you go to. I've witnessed her help so many people. I fully trust, and of course, if you watch this, you're just like, yeah, Rochelle knows her stuff. So thank you so much, Rochelle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put you back into the green room. You can click X and go about your day. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Bye. All right. Yeah, Rochelle is from Canada over there, and so glad that she showed up today. And just to remind you guys that the cart closed already. So if you're, on the fence, make sure that you book the call, because we want to make sure you're a good fit. You're as good as a fit for us as we are for you. And that's why we have a conversation with you. Other than that, we do have a live event that's coming up in March 3rd to the 6th. Let me show you here. GroupConvert live, GroupConvert.com/live here. And it's going to be in Orlando, Florida. It's March 3rd to the 6th. We sell virtual as well as in-person tickets. So hashtag virtual if you want a virtual ticket, and hashtag in-person if you want in-person ticket. We are about to sell out, unfortunately, this week. So make sure that if you are like, hey, I'm thinking about it, then hashtag virtual or hashtag in-person, drop it here, and my team will reach out to you. You can also go to groupconvert.com/live-2022 to go ahead and come to this event. And I rented out a multi-million-dollar mansion, a $3 million mansion. We're going to have an amazing time. There's an Avengers room, and also there is a game room. And the purpose of this training, the purpose of this workshop is to have you bring your laptop, network with 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 figure entrepreneurs. I have clients who are coming who are doing over $100,000 a month. I have clients who are coming who have scaled up their software business to $1 million annual revenue. And Louis will talk about, he's been in the credit 0% interest credit leverage world since 2014. And he's going to talk about decentralized financing as well. So I'm bringing in professionally catered and healthy breakfast and lunch both Friday and Saturday. You get to network with everyone on Thursday. It's a networking mixer. And then, and you can go ahead and see what people have to say about the event itself. Let me go ahead and remove that. And I hope to see you live. Otherwise, I hope to see you inside of Ignite. Okay. Have a wonderful rest of your day. See you in the next video. And what is it? That's it. See you guys.
Oh yeah. If you like that video, then you will love all the resources that I have over at kimcdang.com. kimcdang.com. That is kimcdang.com. There you will find all my courses, my extensions, all the offers that I have, as well as a lot of free resources if you are just getting started.